The young man, Jake, lived life like a roller coaster ride, exciting and unpredictable. Known among his friends for his carefree attitude, he often ignored rules, believing they were suggestions meant for others. Whether it was speeding down the street or sneaking into concerts without a ticket, he thrived on the thrill of getting away with things. To him, the world was full of opportunities and adventure, waiting for him to seize them. Jake had little regard for consequences, he enjoyed the freedom of living in the moment. That carefree spirit often landed him in tricky situations, but each time he slipped through, it only fueled his belief that he could outsmart any challenge. However, beneath this confident facade lay a hint of uncertainty, a whisper that maybe, one day, his luck would run out. Little did he know that fate was just around the corner, ready to test him in ways he never imagined. One sunny afternoon, Jake sped down the road, music blasting from his car, feeling invincible. Suddenly, flashing lights appeared in his rearview mirror. His heart raced, not from fear, but from the thrill of the chase. As he pulled over, he flashed a charming grin, confident that he could talk his way out of this. But as Officer Ramirez approached, her expression was serious and unwavering. She had seen many like him, carefree individuals who thought rules were made to be broken. Her demeanor was strict, and she wasted no time in issuing him a ticket for speeding. "You can't always rely on luck," she said firmly, her voice steady. Jake's charm faltered as he realized this time he wouldn't escape unscathed. He felt a strange mix of frustration and respect for her determination. This was new territory for him, a wake-up call that maybe the rules mattered more than he had ever considered. Jake stood by his car, staring at the ticket in disbelief. This can't be happening, he thought, feeling a rush of confusion and anger. He had always managed to slip away from trouble, charming his way out of consequences with a playful smile or a clever excuse. It was almost a game to him, one that he usually won. In the past, friends would laugh as he recounted tales of close calls, moments where he narrowly escaped fines or trouble altogether. But now, holding the ticket in his hand, he felt a wave of reality wash over him. Officer Ramirez's stern expression replayed in his mind, reminding him that not everyone played by the same rules. As he crumpled the ticket in frustration, a small voice inside whispered that maybe this was a sign, a moment meant to pull him from his carefree bubble and force him to confront the reality he had been avoiding for so long. Officer Ramirez stood firm in her beliefs, her dedication to the law stemming from a deep sense of justice. Growing up in a small town where everyone knew each other, she had witnessed the consequences of dishonesty and reckless behavior firsthand. Her father had been a police officer, instilling in her a strong moral compass that guided every decision she made. She believed that enforcing the law was about more than just issuing tickets, it was about protecting the community and ensuring fairness for all. Over the years, she had encountered many who tested her resolve, but she held fast to her principles. To her, each stop was an opportunity to teach responsibility, not just to punish. As she approached Jake, she felt a mix of determination and empathy. She could sense his frustration but knew that sometimes, moments like these were necessary for growth. In her mind, this young man needed to understand that true freedom came with responsibility, and she hoped this encounter would spark a change in him. A few days later, fate intervened again when Jake found himself at a local coffee shop after a long day. As he sat near the window, lost in thought, he noticed Officer Ramirez walk in. His heart raced, but instead of feeling anger or embarrassment, a sense of curiosity washed over him. She ordered her coffee and took a seat at a nearby table, her eyes scanning the room. Jake couldn't help but reflect on their last encounter and how it had shaken him. He began to question his choices, had his carefree attitude been worth the risk? Meanwhile, Officer Ramirez sipped her coffee, contemplating her own rigidity. She wondered if she was too strict or if there were times when bending the rules could lead to better outcomes. Watching Jake through her peripheral vision, she hoped he was taking this second chance to reconsider his path. Their paths had crossed again, and she sensed that this meeting held more significance than either of them understood. As Jake gathered his courage, he approached Officer Ramirez's table, heart pounding. "Hey," he said, offering a tentative smile. "Mind if I join you?" She looked up, a hint of surprise in her eyes, but nodded. "Sure." They exchanged pleasantries before the conversation took a more serious turn. "I've been thinking about our last encounter," Jake admitted, rubbing the back of his neck. "I guess I realized that maybe I need to change things up. Maybe my carefree attitude isn't all it's cracked up to be." Officer Ramirez listened intently, appreciating his honesty. "It's good to reflect on choices," she replied. "We all have moments where we question ourselves. Following the rules can feel controlling, but sometimes they exist for a reason." Jake nodded, intrigued by her perspective. "Do you ever wish you could bend the rules?" "Sometimes," she admitted softly. "But I believe that true freedom also comes with responsibility." Their exchange flowed deeper as they explored fate and second chances, sensing the weight of this unexpected connection. As their conversation unfolded, Jake and Officer Ramirez discovered surprising commonalities. Both had faced challenges that shaped their perspectives. Jake's carefree lifestyle often masked a deep-seated fear of settling down, while Ramirez's strict adherence to the law stemmed from a desire to protect her community. "I used to think rules were a way to stifle creativity," Jake admitted, leaning forward. "But maybe they help create a safe space for everyone." Officer Ramirez nodded thoughtfully. "And I once believed that bending them was a sign of weakness. But now I see that sometimes, flexibility can lead to better understanding." With every shared thought, they found unexpected connections between their worlds, one ruled by thrill and chance, the other governed by justice and order. They realized that embracing differences did not mean dismissing their beliefs. Instead, those conversations encouraged growth in each other. The weight of their exchange lingered in the air, an unspoken acknowledgement of how two diverse paths could intersect for mutual enlightenment. One evening, as Jake walked home from the coffee shop, he stumbled upon a scene that shook him. A group of young men were gathered around a car, laughing and egging each other on to race in the street. The thrill of the moment was palpable, and Jake felt a familiar rush of excitement. He was tempted to join them, believing it would be a fun escape from his recent reflections. Just then, he remembered Officer Ramirez's words about responsibility and the importance of following the rules. A voice inside him hesitated, urging him to consider the consequences. He looked at the reckless joy on their faces but felt a growing sense of unease. What if someone got hurt? Was this really who he wanted to be? In that moment, Jake faced a defining choice: give in to the exhilaration of breaking the rules or stand firm in his newfound commitment to integrity. He took a deep breath, turned away from the temptation, and continued home, feeling a weight lifted from his shoulders. Days later, Officer Ramirez found herself in a difficult situation while on patrol. She stopped at a local park where a festival was taking place, only to discover that a group of teenagers was setting off fireworks, an act against city regulations due to safety concerns. The crowd cheered and laughed, reveling in the excitement, while a part of her wanted to join in the fun. As she approached the group, she felt a conflict brewing inside. The law was clear: she had to enforce the rules for everyone's safety. Yet the joy of the moment tugged at her heart, reminding her of the laughter and freedom she also cherished. "Hey, I need you all to stop," she called out, her voice firm yet conflicted. As the cheers faded into surprised murmurs, Officer Ramirez realized that sometimes enforcing the law felt unjust, especially when it denied people joy. Fighting against this dilemma made her question whether strict adherence to rules truly served the greater good and what it meant to protect her community. One evening, Jake and Officer Ramirez unexpectedly crossed paths again at a community event. The atmosphere was lively, but an undercurrent of tension lingered as they both sensed the weight of their recent reflections. As they engaged in conversation, Jake decided to open up about his fears and the lingering doubts from his past. "I realize that I've been running away from commitment," he confessed, the honesty in his voice surprising even himself. "I thought freedom was everything, but it just left me feeling empty." Officer Ramirez listened intently, her own revelations swirling in her mind. "And I've been so rigid with rules that I forgot why they matter," she replied thoughtfully. Sometimes bending them can lead to better outcomes for our community. In that moment of vulnerability, both felt a shift within themselves. They understood that personal growth required facing their beliefs and decisions head-on. Their connection deepened as they recognized that fate had brought them together for a reason, to challenge each other and inspire change. As time passed, both Jake and Officer Ramirez found themselves transformed by their unexpected bond. Jake embraced a newfound sense of responsibility, understanding that true freedom came with making the right choices. He began to take commitment seriously, nurturing relationships and pursuing goals that previously felt daunting. Officer Ramirez, on the other hand, learned to appreciate flexibility in her approach to the law. She realized that bending rules sometimes allowed for greater compassion and understanding within her community. Her experiences with Jake reminded her that enforcing justice didn't always mean being rigid, it could also involve empathy and context. In their final encounter, they shared laughter and a promise to support each other's journeys. "Maybe this isn't just fate," Jake said with a smile. "It's a partnership." Ramirez nodded, feeling grateful for their connection. They had both evolved, respecting the unique paths they walked while encouraging each other to embrace change. Their relationship illustrated how fate can lead to growth, both personal and shared, when unexpected connections are formed. As their journeys continued, Jake and Officer Ramirez reflected on how fate had intertwined their lives in unexpected ways. They realized that sometimes, the choices we make can lead us to people who challenge our beliefs and encourage growth. Their encounters taught them that every moment holds potential for change, even when it seems daunting. Life is a series of intersections where decisions matter. Each person we meet can reshape our paths in profound ways. Jake found hope in embracing responsibility, while Ramirez learned to balance rules with compassion. Both recognized that second chances are possible if one is open to change and willing to learn from experiences. In the end, they understood that fate does not just happen, it is shaped by the conscious choices we make every day. Their story serves as a reminder that, no matter how different our paths may seem, there is always an opportunity for connection, growth, and new beginnings when we least expect it.